So nakapag-subscribe na po ba sila ngayong gabi? Ngayong araw na ito. Sir Chris.
Yes po, nakasubscribe na.
Good. Ayan. Welcome din natin. Andyan na po si Coach Princess Sai. Good evening, Coach Princess. How are you? So guys, continue to share our link because napakaganda na ating topic for tonight. Ayan, sabi ni Sir Jess, done na rin siya.
No more shadows, only open skies. Chasing dreams, high feet off the ground. Love's a heartbeat in every sound. Life
in full bloom.
like the moon. Sing it loud, we'll make them swoon. Dance through the night, under the stars. Life in full bloom, this world is ours.
Guys, we still have 2 minutes. Continue to share our link. And napakaganda ng topic natin. It's all about women's health. But of course, we'd like to acknowledge all the presence of ang ating mga nagwagwapuhang, mga team leaders and members. Okay lang po, kahit lalaki po sila dahil for sure, meron po silang nanay, kapatid na babae, tita, diba? Mga kaibigan ng mga babae. So you can share this information o yung matututunan natin mamaya sa ating speaker. So guys, are you excited? Type 1 nga. If you are excited, and we'll begin in 1 minute. Ayan, pumapasok pa. Welcome po natin si Ma'am Madeline. Madeline. Hi to Ma'am Pinky. Good evening. At si Ma'am Tracy Badwa. Ma'am Lenny. Guys, type 1. Ayan, sobrang excited na sila. So, once again, good evening everyone. So, this is Hannah. I'm your host for tonight. And this is a very good topic. So, every Thursday, I'm so excited because there is another learning that I was able to acquire and share to all my relatives and friends. So this is all about women's health. So for sure, we can learn on how to provide the proper nutrition for ovarian health and at the same time on how we can achieve the healing. So our speaker for tonight, syempre very excited ako lagi kasi sobrang informative and very detailed. Siya lagi mag-explain. He's a former medical director for Integra Essenza and European Wellness Philippines. And with over 30 years of medical experience, he is a highly respected OB-GYN and a true expert in bioregenerative and integrative medicine. So with his expertise, I would like to welcome, and let's all welcome, our very own Dr. Ariel Byra. Hi, Doc. Good evening. We are now live on FB. You can share. Ay, wait. Gawin kong host. Yan. Hi, Doc Byra. Good evening. Naka-mute pa po. Naka-mute pa kayo, Doc.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. So, good evening to all and welcome again to our Thursday night learnings, no? So this time, kasi I always ask Lem, ano ba yung pwede natin pag-usapan for like kahapon or the other day? I was trying to get in touch with him. And I was asking him, ano ba yung pwede natin pag-usapan? So he's the one providing the topic, no? And sure enough, of course, I feel very comfortable with tonight's topic kasi OBGYN ako, no? And I hope yung ating mga male participants dito sa Zoom will also appreciate what we want to tell everyone, no? Kasi for sure, no, lahat naman tayo dito may mga asawa, kung hindi man ay may kapatid na babae. Sabi nga ni Ma'am kanina, meron tayong nanay, of course, dahil kung wala sila, wala tayo. So this is a very important topic, not only for women, but it's also very informative for men to find out ano ba yung dapat natin matutunan and how can we help, no, our esposo, no, on if and when they get into some problems with women's health, no. Now we will be talking tonight about ovarian new growth, no. Say ovarian new growth, something related to some abnormalities that can be found in the ovaries of a woman, no. So let's start by mag-share lang ako ng slides. I hope. Ay, ito na naman ako. As usual. Wait, ha? Yan. Okay. Okay. Nakikita ba ng lahat? Okay. Everybody sees this, no? So I'm sharing the screen so that you'll have, kasi as I always say, no, sa akin napakahalaga ng visuals eh. No, mas nare-retain yung pinag-uusapan natin when you see something, no? And for some, they do some screenshots. No? So tinitingnan nila because as expected, there are times where we're not, you know, our concentration is not that good. So it would, we may not be able to get all the necessary information and retain them, no? So it helps if you can, of course, you're free to screenshot, no, to do whatever things that you can do in order to retain whatever you want to, no, especially when we talk of certain topics. Okay, so we'll be talking about ovarian health, no? What are the different the usual abnormal cases that we find in the ovaries? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Can you just slideshow po yung ano?
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay. So, yun yan. Huh? So, before I even start talking about this ovarian health, now, siguro it would be very appropriate to say something about the ovary. I know for a fact that many of you would know what the ovaries are, no, but still, no. Of course, when we talk about the ovary, it's the what? Part of the female reproductive organ, no, that produces what we call the eggs or ova, and at the same time the hormones, such as the estrogen and progesterone, diba? It plays a very crucial role in trying to identify and make sure that a woman is able to menstruate. So it has something to do with menstruation. It has something to do with fertility, para mabuntis yung babae. And of course, consequently, no, pregnancy. So, of course, anatomically, the ovaries, you have it, well, in females, you have the left and right ovaries. course, no? And it is located in the pelvic area. So, malapit sa puson, dun sa area ng puson, kung tutuusin, no? And what else? No? Primarily, the purpose of the ovaries is to produce the egg, the ova, no? Na kapag na-fertilize, syempre, ng sperm ng lalaki will lead to fertilization. And that would also definitely be considered, no, a pregnancy. Hoping and praying that everything else would be normal. Kasi hindi naman ibig sabihin na nagkaroon ng fertilization. The union between the egg of a woman and the sperm of a male will always lead to a normal, no, intrauterine pregnancy, yung nasa loob ng uterus, no? There are times that you hear the word ectopic pregnancy, di ba? Yun yung nabuo yung fertilized ovum, but it is outside the uterus. And definitely that's an abnormal occurrence resulting to some problems. But siguro, perhaps if given the chance, in the future we can talk about different types of ectopic pregnancy. But for now, it's very important to concentrate on what the topic is, and that is, of course, the ovaries. Now, of course, a big part of a woman's problem, no, would always have to do with what? Menstrual irregularities, irregular periods, no, and of course the ovaries, since they are also producing the hormones estrogen and progesterone, is something that should be examined. No? Kasi minsan nagkakaroon ng problema. Bakit ba hindi monthly yung regla ng babae? No? Bakit ba minsan may ilang buwan hindi nagre-regla, then all of a sudden biglang bubuhos na malakas? So we need to examine the hormones, estrogen and progesterone, because these are the ones responsible for regulating, no, the menstrual cycle of a woman. So, importante rin yan. And of course, the hormones are produced by the ovaries. Okay? So, aside from the menstrual cycle that should be regulated with a normal amount of estrogen and progesterone, of course, it has something to do with what? Female traits. No? Yung breast development, yung body shape ng babae, di ba? Ibang-iba sa body shape natin mga lalaki. And of course, the distribution of body hair. So, napakalaga pag-usapan talaga yung ovaries. No? Because nowadays, we are receiving a lot of problems concerning, no, what we call the PCOS, no, the polycystic ovary syndrome, which is now becoming perhaps one of the most common causes of infertility. No? Gaya nga nung nasabi natin noon, nung mga ilang previous talks that I made, ano ba ang nagiging problema? No? Nagkakaroon ng structural abnormality yung ovaries. And as such, will definitely lead to some abnormal occurrences in women. So, why ovarian health matters? These are small organs, but very big impact. If you will note, ang lit-lit lang ng ovaries ng babae. No, it's like a pizza, walnut size. No, kung tutuusin. No, on the left and on the right side. And despite the small organ that it is, no, it has a very big impact on a woman's health, no? Because sabi nga dito, it regulates your monthly cycle, which is very important. It also influences your energy, your mood, and of course, your body composition. It supports the ability to conceive, no, to get pregnant and carry a child. And of course, it helps maintain the hormonal balance throughout a woman's life, no? Especially when a woman is still in her, what we call, reproductive age. Now, from that time, the woman starts menstruating. And nowadays, it's getting much, much lower. Before 11 or 12 years old, saka lang nagme-menstruate yung babae. We call that menarche. No, yung the initial episode of menstruation in a woman, 11 or 12 years old. But now, there are reported cases, even in the Philippines, na ang kababaihan can start their menarche, their first episode of menstruation as early as 9 years old. And of course, if that happens, the moment a woman starts menstruating, there's always the possibility of getting pregnant. Kaya, di ba, if we try to see the statistics, mataas din ang statistics uh, suggesting teenage pregnancy. No? So, menarche to menopause. No? Yun yung reproductive age group na tinatawag ng babae. No? So, ang menopause can usually occur between the ages of 48 to 52. Again, there is no hard and fast rule. Some women would get into menopause, yung titigil na yung regla at 40, as early as 45 years old. And there are women who would still experience regular menstrual cycles, no, until beyond 52 years old. So anything between your menarche and menopause, of course, there's always the possibility that a woman can get pregnant. Okay, now, having said that, it's very important to determine now what are the problems that usually are seen, no, in women with ovarian cyst. Let's start with ovarian cyst. Kasi this is quite common, but often ignored. Why? Kasi a lot of times women will not get into a proper gynecologic examination, no? Yung pagka nagpapa-check up, assessment, evaluation. Pagka wala silang nararamdaman. And oftentimes, no, wala naman silang nararamdaman. By the time they feel something, pain or irregularity in their menstruation or sudden onset of bleeding, then they get affected. And of course, that's the only time that they would seek consultation. Now, this ovarian cyst is quite common, no? Because these are fluid filled. The moment you hear the word cyst, no? Kahit na hindi lang ovarian cyst, any type of cyst for that matter, that means it has a fluid, no, inside a particular sac. Kaya nga siya fluid-filled sac on or in the ovaries, meaning it could be inside the ovaries or it could be very close to the ovaries. Okay? And most of these are harmless, but some of them may get into serious complications. No? Some of them may not cause any symptoms, but others may cause severe symptoms. No? So, ang importante lang dito is most of these so-called ovarian cysts are still considered benign or non-cancerous. And they usually can disappear on their own. Ang nakakatakot ay yung tinatawag na cancerous or malignant cyst, which usually or would likely occur in women after the age of 40. So pag yung malapit na malapit na mag-menopause, malapit in the sense that it would take several years pa na lang, no? Perimenopause tawag doon, no? That is where things should really be examined carefully, no? So, despite the absence of symptoms, women are always advised to get a gynecologic, that's how you term it, gynecologic assessment or evaluation every year as much as possible. No? More so if they have some signs and symptoms that could be referable to the ovaries. Okay? Now, let's go to What if it is not just a cyst? Yan ang sinasabi natin. Because if it's just a cyst, no, halos lahat ng cyst. In fact, hindi halos. Lahat ng cyst for that matter. Not only the ovaries. Pag sinabi mong cyst, no, this pertains to what? Benign lesions, meaning non-cancerous, no, non-malignant lesions. But some may develop into what we call tumors. When I was a medical student, no, hindi na bihira-bihira na rin i-label ang abnormal mass, no, bukol as tumor. Because tumors are considered misnomer. Hindi mo sigurado, no? A lot of people have are thinking that tumors are always malignant. No, tumors may also be non-malignant or benign. No, new growth, bigla lang sumulpot, no? Abnormal mass, may bukol, no? But of course, of late, there are instances where these cysts can develop into malignant lesions, no? Cancerous. Of course, as I've said, the risk increases definitely with age. So when a woman, no, matures, reaches the age of menopause, especially, roughly between, sabihin lang natin, 45 to 50 muna. So there should be a regular gynecologic checkup to make sure that they are not suffering from any form of malignancy. Not only in the ovaries, but also could occur in the cervix. It could also occur in the uterus of a woman. So, nakakatakot. In fact, no, the number one cause of, the number one malignancy in women is breast. After the breast, of course, you have the cervix, you have the uterus, you have the ovaries. So lahat yun, obviously, no, makikita mo sa mga babae. So you need to make sure that you do certain examinations on a yearly basis, especially, no, when you reach your perimenopausal, yung malapit na mag-menopause. Ganun ang tawag ko. No? Now, what are the different types of ovarian cysts? One is what we call the functional cyst. Functional. This is most common in menstruating women. No, there are two types actually: the follicular cyst and the corpus luteum cyst. No, well, hindi na natin masyadong pag-usapan because I don't want you to feel na, bakit pinahihirapan pa kami nito. What is important is that these are the more common types of functional cyst. Follicular, which develops from the follicle na tinatawag, and corpus luteum is a structure, no, that is formed within the ovary. No? Both of which can possibly cause severe pain. Pag nag-rupture, siyempre, anumang cyst, again, generally speaking, anumang cyst, kasi may fluid sa loob eh. This can possibly rupture at any given time, caused by trauma, caused by a progression in the size of the cyst, pwedeng pumutok. And the moment that happens, it makes things even more complicated. Now, if you can see in the diagram, no, yung nasa gitna, of course, is the uterus, and then meron dalawang parang kamay, those are the fallopian tubes, no, and then yung puting yon, those are the ovaries. Okay? Now, aside from functional cysts, there is what we call benign tumors. Okay? Benign, meaning non-malignant tumors. They may grow slowly, but can still cause some harm. No? And when we talk of benign, non-cancerous ovarian tumors, no, these are the following types of benign tumors. Meron tayong dermoid, cyst, or teratomas, we have fibromas, cystadenomas, and the endometriosis or endometriomas from endometriosis. Yan na natin tanin. Baka sabihin nyo, ginagawa ko is important na pag nadinig nyo lang, ito pala yung mga cysts na sinasabi ni Doc. Now, what are the risk factors involved? Of course, as I said earlier, age is a very, very important factor to consider. In fact, as you grow older, ako binabaan ko pa, no? 45 to 50. The highest would be, the risk becomes more severe or becomes higher, especially when you reach the age of 55 to 64. Of course, obviously, the woman might have gone into menopause na syempre. More so if there is a very strong family history of ovarian cancer. Nagkaroon ng ovarian cancer si nanay, yung kapatid mong babae, yung tiya mo, and all. Kasi we always talk of genetics eh. Even with genetic mutations, no? Nakikita na ngayon, nadidetermine na sa dugo, yung BRCA1 and BRCA2. So, in other highly, ano ba tawag doon? Yung mga mayayamang bansa, no? They usually include this in their examinations because these are very expensive examinations, no? Having said that, hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi dapat gawin. It can be done, but in most cases here in the Philippines, it's seldom done, no? Birang-bira. Kasi may mga ibang risk factors that will let us know, no? That will inform us that, there's a possible risk of ovarian tumors, whether they be benign, non-cancerous, or sana naman hindi, malignant or cancerous. Of course, obesity is a very big factor. Sa America, obesity is now getting to be one of the biggest headaches in their healthcare system, no, in their healthcare industry. Kasi because of why? Most of these millennials or even much younger women, no, are obese. Hindi lang overweight, obese because of the types of food they do, their sedentary lifestyle, no. That can also contribute the possibility of developing any ovarian tumors. No? Late pregnancies. Yan, sabi ko na yun, if for some of you who have attended some of my previous lectures, di ba? Sabi ko, personal yun, don't tell your friends na in OB na sabi ko, this is a personal take from my own experience. Okay, sabi ko nga, the first pregnancy is the most crucial pregnancy. Why? Hindi pa sanay yung female reproductive organs ng babae. And there could be problems relatable to possible infertility. Baka hindi mabuntis. So the ideal first pregnancy, as I've said time and time again, should occur at 30 years old or younger. Ang pinag-uusapan, first pregnancy. Now, of course, the subsequent pregnancies, kahit pa kayo umabot ng 40, of course, we have women getting pregnant at 40, 42, 44, tawag nga nila doon, menopausal pregnancy. No? So, pag lumabas yung bata, menopausal baby. Kasi nga, towards the end. That's fine. Ang pinag-uusapan is your first pregnancy. And then, of course, hormone therapy. Because a lot of the problems relatable to infertility, avoiding the possibility of pregnancy, is deficiency in either or both the female reproductive hormones, estrogen and progesterone. Now, often overlooked, many women ignore mild symptoms. May simptomas na hindi pa binibigyan ng halaga. What more kung walang nararamdaman? Again, we go back to the basic thing na hindi porke wala kayong nararamdaman, walang simptomas, walang senyales, everything is okay. No? The best thing to do is to get a complete and comprehensive gynecologic examination. Of course, tayo kasi medyo conservative as a country. So, di ba, pinag-uusapan, oy, Doc, ayoko magpa-examine kasi virgin pa ako. No, intact pa yung aking hymen. Baka pag in-examine ako, ma-break yung hymen ko. So, there are instances where you have to really consider the cultural background of the patient, no? O kaya hindi naman yun imperative, no, on the part of the patient. Pero to some extent, especially, no, for those who have had married couple who has not been menstruating, who have not been pregnant for a year, despite the regular sexual activities of the couple, that means something else. No, in a woman who is single, who have not had any history of sexual activities, but experiencing irregular menstruation, that has to be looked at. No? Maraming paraan para ma-examine yung pasyente, not necessarily an internal examination or what we call pelvic examination. Now, some cysts, no, would also produce some hormones. And that would imply that there are instances where there is an overproduction of either the estrogen or progesterone. Pero bihira yun. It's not so often that we experience that. More often than not, it's the deficiency, kakulangan, which leads to what? Irregular periods, no? And, well, that's the most common. Hindi na kailangan pag-usapan pa iba. Now, another problem with ovarian cyst is that it may develop the ovaries to twist, no, causing emergency operation. Why? Yung tinatawag namin twisted ovarian cyst. No? Nagtitwist na yung ovary because of the presence of the cyst. So much so na pagka umikot yun, ng umikot, no? Bakit yun iikot? Because of the movement of the patient. Umikot siya, nagkaroon siya ng parang stem, stalk. No? Umikot ng umikot, and that can, what? Lead to a possible, what? Yung tanggal, no? Yung mapatid, yung stalk or your stem, and that would definitely create some bleeding. That's the reason why it's an emergency. Now, how would you know if you could possibly be suffering from this? Well, of course, excruciating pain on your lower abdomen, either on the left or on the right. Because remember, the ovaries is both present on the right and on the left ovaries. Depende kung ano yung tinamaan. And what is good is that, of course, we have some diagnostic procedures that we can do instantly. Like, for example, a transvaginal ultrasound. Para naglagay ka ng camera doon sa loob, ma-review mo the entire female reproductive organ. Are there things that seem to be abnormal, no, leading to what the patient is experiencing? So, how is it diagnosed? Yun na nga. Una, pelvic exam, internal exam, no, kasi minsan bukol pa lang. Remember, any of these ovarian cysts, no, can develop like a pregnancy. Minsan kasi laki ng balloon. Sometimes it's even bigger than a balloon. No? So obviously, kahit na hindi ka na magawa ng internal examination, you would definitely be able to identify. Now, pregnancy test is also imperative to make sure na Baka mamaya, hindi alam nung pasyente, buntis din pala siya. So to eliminate the chance of a possible pregnancy, then of course we do a pregnancy test. But all this will be inadequate the moment we do a ultrasound, specifically a transvaginal ultrasound. A probe is inserted into the vaginal canal and then examined. Makikita, para kang may camera na ipinasok dun sa loob. Kitang-kita mo lahat ng parte ng female reproductive organ. Now, doon makikita mo na kagad, oh, there seems to be an abnormal cyst. No? Could be in the ovary, of course, could be in the uterus, no? So makikita mo na kagad. And if you have a high suspicion, if the doctor has a high suspicion, na it could be a possible malignant tumor, then we do a tumor marker test. Sa dugo din yon. In fact, a tumor marker test now should be always considered when you're trying to eliminate the possibility of a cancer, a malignancy in any part of the body. Yung tumor marker test na tinatawag, may specific tumor marker that is related to a specific organ. So we make those tests. One example is CEA, carcinoembryonic antigen. Makikita, malalaman mo na doon. And then there are specific tumor markers relatable to the ovaries, if you're trying to consider it, to the liver, to the brain, to different parts of the organ. So napakalaga na. Now, aside from that, of course, ang dictum sa hospital is you might have to do a surgery, a removal of that abnormal cyst, no? Especially if it's big, no? Yun ang tinatawag naming debulking procedure. Debulk means to remove the bulk, to remove the buccal, to remove that big mass. Para nung sa ganun, no, yung space na ino-occupy niya, magkaroon uli ng, ng enough space to cover other important, kasi minsan di-displace na yung ibang organs because of that, the presence of that big mass. Kaya, ino-opera pa rin. Now, of course, ang dictum din sa hospital is the moment you remove something, you have to automatically perform a biopsy. Yun ang tinatawag ng excision biopsy. Kahit nga yung maliit na bukol, no, maliit na cyst sa balat natin o sa mga parte ng katawan natin, automatically it is biopsied. The purpose of the biopsy is just to determine whether the abnormal cyst is benign, non-cancerous, or malignant, cancerous. Yun lang naman. Because, why do we need to determine it? Simply because, siyempre importante, iba yung treatment pagka-cancerous na. Even early stage. Iba yung treatment pagka benign, non-cancerous. Okay? So, what are the treatment options now? Ayan, no? Pelvic examination, no? And then you have the biopsy dun sa gitna ng image, and then of course, depending on what would be the appropriate procedure that should be done. Either a laparoscopy or laparotomy. Laparoscopy, tinitingnan mo lang, you do a small incision, no? Sometimes 1 inch, 1.5 inch lang, and then may pinapasok yung laparoscope. May ilaw yun, may camera, kitang-kita mo na, and then pag na-identify mo na, then of course you take out the abnormal mass kung pwede pang tanggalin, lalo na kung maliit. Kaya nga ngayon, uso na yung laparoscopic, di ba? Even sa pagtanggal ng gallbladder or gallstones, laparoscopic cholecystectomy ang tawag doon. Maliit na lang yung incision para na sa ganun, mabilis ang recovery ng patient, and at the same time, sorry. Sandali lang. Wait for a minute. I think low bat ako. Saksak ko lang yung aking. Okay, well, doing it. You know, no? Of course, we always consider yung status ng pasyente para madali silang makarecover, and at the same time, no, they can go back to their usual activities at home or at work. No? Kasi para ka lang hiniwang katiting na hiwa, no? Mabilis mag-heal, no? You don't need to worry about it, no? And nagawa kagad ng paraan despite the small incision. Okay. Okay, so the surgery, meron din kami sinusunod na parameters, no? Na factors. Kung masyadong malaki, like it's over 5 centimeters, no? Ang size ng bukol, no? And may symptoms naman, may nararamdaman na siyempre yung pasyente, no? And the possibility of cancer. So, we remove it, no? Surgery is a very common term. Pero in actuality, no, much of it is relatable to removal. Now, if malignant, of course, it's the different stages. Just like in any other cancer. Stage 1, dun lang siya sa ovary. Stage 2, medyo nag-spread na dito sa may pelvic area, dito sa may abdomen natin, no? Stage 3, if it's beyond, no, minsan nandun na sa may lateral side and sa may baba, no, ng ating pelvic area. And of course, stage 4 metastatic na yan. Metastasis, I would say, metastatic, nag-spread na to other organs. Now, the recovery for benign would always be very short. In fact, in 1 to 6 weeks, matagal pa yun eh. Sometimes in 2 weeks' time, okay na yung patient. But for malignant, definitely goes beyond 2 months, no? And then the patient might be advised to have chemotherapy standard. Kaya nga, we're trying to help the patient with our products, no? Yung 5-year survival rate in ovarian malignancies, no, would be 45.6%. Ano yun? Standard yung tinatawag na 5-year survival rate. Meaning that if you go beyond the 5 years, no, medyo maganda na. Dapat yung recovery mo, meaning you're almost cancer-free. But unfortunately, there are times, no, that on the 6th year, no, biglang gumrabe na naman yung para bang nagkaroon ng recurrence of the malignancy on the 7th year. Kaya nga ako, when I tell my patients, okay, if and when you get beyond the 5 years, you still need to monitor, no, your status, no. Halimbawa, kung sa ovarian malignancy, no, you went beyond it, then you still need to at least every 6 months to a year, meron kang namomonitor to find out if everything's still okay. Now, as it is, not only for ovarian malignancies, but early detection in all malignancies for that matter, early detection and prevention are always key. So, from nutrition to action, what your cells need now? True recovery starts from within. Remember, we've been talking about cellular health. We've been talking about cellular nutrition. So, when your cells are nourished, your body can, no, definitely repair, restore, and resist disease. Let's now explore the key formulations that help activate healing from the inside out. That is where our products should come in. No? Although I've been saying time and time again, every time I conduct a lecture, that these products would definitely should be started, no, as a preventive health measure. Wala pa yung problema, sinisimulan na natin. so that the possibility of getting into any of these serious medical conditions may possibly be delayed or postponed. No, hindi naman natin ginagarantiyan na hindi ka na magkakaroon. But the mere fact na you're at 70, you reach 80 years old, and wala kang naging history ganitong mga sakit, any form of malignancy, that's already a big bonus. Diba? So, the reason why we have all these products is to definitely help you out in trying to delay or postpone whatever serious medical condition can possibly occur. So, a game changer even for ovarian health, because it's a stem cell activator. It's a natural stem cell. It produces, it stimulates our own stem cell to be activated. It boosts the body's repair system by activating plant-based stem cell patterns. So if we are able to start with Ultima Stem Plus, chances are madidelay. Maring hindi pa magkaroon. Ako nga medyo conservative. Baka madelay or postpone. But of course, there's always the possibility na hindi kayo magkakaroon ng anumang cancer. And specifically, since we're talking about ovarian malignancy for sa mga babae, of course, yung mga lalaki, tayong problema natin is prostate. But just the same, the moment we develop some, we don't need to wait for any symptoms to appear. It's very common to get prostate enlargement, enlargement naman in elderly men. No, sometimes even as early as 45 years old. No, pataas. So try to get a check. You can start with ultrasound, KUDT ultrasound of the prostate gland, just to make sure na to identify the size of your prostate, if it's enlarged or not. And then in women, of course, one of them is of course the ovarian cell. It helps rejuvenate ovarian cells damaged by stress, toxins, or aging. Kasi minsan, ang pinakamahirap is, what is the primary cause of cancer? Nobody knows. No? We can always speculate. We can always come up with some, what we call theories. No? But we don't know. That's the reason why it's very difficult to treat, because we're not able to get to the root cause of the problem. Diba? Sabi nga natin, things may become easier when we are able to get to the root cause of the problem, if we are able to identify. Now, Ultima Stem Cell also tackles inflammation. As I said time and time again, every single disease starts with an inflammation. Kaya nga maganda, magka-anti-inflammatory, because that will arrest possible inflammation, and that will eventually lead to a better outcome. Of course, it will also help in trying to balance the hormone production, especially the female hormones in women, and cellular degeneration. Why? Because, again, Ultima Stem Plus has this very good active ingredient in beta-nicotinamide mononucleotide, the longevity molecule that fuels your cells, restores your energy, and reverses biological aging. For those who have been my avid listeners every Thursday, we've discussed the difference between chronologic age and biological age. Biological age is simply the age of your cells, which we can modify in order to make them younger than our chronologic age. So, because Ultima Stem Cell, of course, being an activator, addresses also the 9 hallmarks of aging. We've discussed this earlier. Kasi aging, especially the chronologic age, we cannot do anything about it. Kaya nga, masaya tayo, of course, pag nagbe-birthday tayo. But at the same time, may konting lungkot kasi tumanda na naman tayo. We cannot help we cannot help sustain our chronological age. Every year, tumataas yan. Naturally, because it's based on our birthday. No? What we can do is perhaps do something about our biological age. But there's a that's a big challenge on our part. Because it's easier said than done. But of course, it can be done. Boost, of course, Ultima Stem Plus, boost energy recovery and repair. Okay, so nakikita natin to, madalas natin nakikita. It summarizes the comprehensive health benefits that we get out of the product Ultima Stem Plus. Why? Because of the different ingredients or components that are that we get out of a single tablet of a capsule of Ultima Stem Plus. No? Yung curcumin, resveratrol, fisetin, of course, yung NMN, erostilbene, no? Binigyan natin to, quercetin, vitamin E, vitamin D3, no? Astragaloside, no? All of this, quercetin, all of these have different effects on certain parts of the body that will enable us to strengthen our overall well-being, no? To prolong our lives, because basically that's the most important thing that we should consider. No? Humaba yung buhay natin. Paulit-ulit ko sinasabi, nasa Diyos ang awa. Pero nasa taong gawa. We need to do our part in order to help prolong our lives. And then, of course, the aronia berry. No, it's the queen of antioxidants. It's also incorporated in our Ultima Stem Plus. Possesses one of the highest antioxidants by having the highest score in the ORAC value, oxygen radical absorption capacity. That is the level of antioxidant effect. It measures the antioxidant level. No? So much so that if it is very high, definitely it will help the body combat these free radicals that are usually produced on a regular basis. It's also rich in vitamin B17. No? If you will note, no, ang vitamin B complex, napakaraming vitamin. Hindi na yung 1,6,12. Vitamin B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B7, B9, and B12. And included there is, meron pa rin tayong tinatawag na, of course, it's not included in a simple vitamin B complex, but we have what we call it vitamin B17, a known anti-cancer substance. That's why it's a known cancer killer. Can you imagine that? No? If we are able to take them early on, then there's a big chance that we may not develop any form of cancer in our lifetime. Okay, you have the so-called 3-step reset plan. How to start the process of healing. In step 1, in any medical concern or issue, the best thing to do would always be to detoxify. Internal cleansing muna tayo ng ating organs. Para na sa ganun, no, any subsequent procedures or any subsequent actions that we need to take would have a better impact. Kasi linilinis na yung organs natin. Remember, all our organs, internal organs, are quite dirty because of the presence of a lot of toxins, especially the so-called heavy metal toxins. And we need to get rid of them. And one way of doing it is, what? By taking the new cleanse, detox. Diba? Comes in sachet, powder, just drink it. No? What happens? Magdi-detoxify yung katawan natin. It will attract the toxins so much so that it can bring some of them to the kidneys to be brought out outside the body through the urine. And some of them will even go to the stool or feces, yung ating dumi, no, in the colon, so much so na mailalabas natin through defecation. Okay? Now, step 2, restore everything that we need to be restored. Pag nalinis na natin, of course, we take the Ultima Stem Plus. No need to elaborate on it. It has all the necessary ingredients, no, that will take care of individual internal organs. And step 3, to regulate it with berberine. Supercharges results by enhancing insulin sensitivity. One of the most common lifestyle disease, as we have been talking about, is what? Diabetes. No? So it will enhance insulin sensitivity, meaning it will counteract the possibility of insulin resistance. No? Meron pang, it is also crucial for hormone regulation. So it can help, no, provide the necessary hormones in order to balance them out. No? And of course, that would definitely lead to a big help on the ovaries of women. It also supports what we call the AMH levels, the anti-Mullerian hormone that would preserve the quality of egg. Because one problem, despite the fact that women may be able to produce the necessary eggs for possible fertilization, there is always, of course, we always talk of quality of the egg. Maganda ba, no? Yung itlog na napoproduce o hindi. Just like the sperms. The sperm should be mature enough to penetrate the egg in order to fertilize it. Para magkaroon ng fertilization, the union of the egg and the sperm. So, napakalaga. And that we can get it from our food supplement, berberine. It also reduces ovarian inflammation and possible abnormal cell growth. So, a combination of this will definitely be an ideal thing. The berberine balances metabolism. Again, when we talk of metabolism, we talk of the breakdown and buildup of substances, no, of the nutrients that are needed by the body. No, sugar should be utilized as a form of energy. No, so that is part of the metabolic process, and that can be provided by our food supplement berberine. And on the other hand, of course, the Ultima Stem Plus would repair and renew your body at the cellular level because of the different, no, vital ingredients or components that compose the Ultima Stem Cell. Think of it as a cleanse and rebuild approach, a powerful combination for deep cellular healing. Now, choose your reset kit. No, perhaps your other speakers or your leaders might be informing you of this reset kit that we have. You can use Ultima Stem Plus only. You can use a combination of Ultima Stem Plus plus berberine. And of course, we have the full reset kit. What is that full? Full reset kit. Ayan, total body support for women's health. No, it's a combination of Equisy, our potent Camu vitamin C, spirulina, of course, Ultima Stem Plus, berberine, carvacrol, and nucleus detox. Andyan na yung combined benefits of a full reset kit. Flushes out toxins, hormone disruptors, and heavy metals linked to tumor growth. That is being done by nucleus detox. Boost immune defense to help destroy abnormal or cancerous cells. And that can be taken care of by Ultima Stem Plus and spirulina. And then supports estrogen balance, reduces chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, supports estrogen balance, hormonal health. No, all of this can be taken by Ultima Stem Plus. Feeds the body with 100 plus plant nutrients for deep cellular nourishment. USP pa rin, no? And then you have it activates, of course, the natural stem cell for healing regeneration. Primary purpose of USP, regulates blood sugar and metabolism to reduce cancer supporting condition. I forgot to tell you, buti na lang na because of berberine. cancer cells would always favor a what? Sweet environment. Kaya dapat diabetics, no, logically speaking, diabetics would have the possibility of getting any form of cancer much higher than a non-diabetic because yung metabolism because of the presence of excessive sugar in the blood. So if you take berberine, that would help, no, reduce the cancer supporting condition. Mabawasan yung sugar content ng katawan, no, chances are, ang gusto ko sila cancer cells, acidic environment and sweet environment. And then clears parasites, waste, and hidden infections, burdening the immune system, of course, because of Carvacrol, no, our preparation, which is very, very good, no, oregano, diba? It is usually, or oregano, it's an antimicrobial preparation. Elevates energy, mood, and resilience during and after treatment. Of course, again, USP equizy would also be providing those benefits and delivers natural anti-cancer compounds, as we have said, because of the aronia berry and USP. So that is a complete for women who want to restore balance, strength, their body, and support deep healing from within. Sabihin naman nyo, napaka-biased nito kung hindi ninyo sinabi. And dito, Ultima Stem Plus, you know, all of these are features or benefits perfect for those looking for overall healing, skin glow, and vitality from the inside out. And of course, yung combination of these two, best for those with deeper health concerns needing a targeted reset. But personally, I would suggest that you take the full reset kit because wala nang kawala eh. Lahat ng kailangan ng katawan, no? Whether it be for sustaining energy, for sustaining good health, no, for repairing damaged tissues and cells, then it is imperative that you get the full reset kit. Healing begins with a choice. Sabi nga, true beauty comes not from what you cover, but from what you nourish. Make your choice today, not tomorrow. Don't try to postpone anything. Because right now, or not even right now, all the time, health is the most important issue in life. Anything that will lead to a prolonged, more productive life will always be the ultimate choice of everyone. So make your choice today. Let your healing become your glow. Ask your non-self disciplinary how to begin and reserve your full reset kit today. That ends up my short talk. You now open the floor for any questions or concerns. Thank you. Miss Anna?
Ay, sorry. Nakamute pala ako. Thank you so much, Doc Myra, for very informative and detailed on how we can cope and battle any health issues related to us women, of course. And I would like to acknowledge lang po yung presence ng ating butihing may bahay ni President, si Ma'am Catherine. Ayan po, nandyan po siya. At yung ating mga hub leaders na nag-join. Yes. If you have questions, you can now type in our chat box so we can attend and Doc Myra can answer all your questions. So Doc, habang nagtatype pa lang sila ng question nila, I have this question related din sa topic na kasi this is bothering me for a long time ago kasi I have a very close friend na every time siyang nabubuntis, either po 3 months, 4 months na kukunan, and then she found out na meron po siyang APAS, yung sinasabing APAS positive.
Yes, yes. Antiphospholipid antibody syndrome, APAS, no? Kasi That is the term that we use when you have successive failed pregnancies. Nabuntis pero hindi natuloy. It was not carried to nine months. No? So it was not carried to term. So may mga biochemical problems that some patients develop. No? Pagka ganyan. So, okay, to start with, ang infertility. Yung how do you call it? Yung hindi makabuo, hindi maging pregnant to woman. It's a very, very, how would I say it? It's a very tedious procedure. No? Kaya nga sabi ko, pag kami nabuntis, because of the OBGYN was able to resolve no? The problem of infertility, dapat yung anak, yung pangalan, precious. Kasi malaki yung gastos ng babae. No? Not only the babae, but the couple. Kasi maraming dapat i-identify. And one of them is, yung anti-phospholipid antibody syndrome, which is basically a biochemical problem na inherent sa katawan ng pasyente that causes an effect on the pregnancy. Kaya hindi maituloy yung pregnancy. Hindi problema yung pagbubuntis. Pero to sustain the pregnancy to 9 months is the one that becomes a problem. So, may mga test ngayon na ginagawa in order to identify. Unang-una, is it really APAS? Kasi kaya lang nauso yung tinatawag na APAS na yun, no? Anti-phospholipid antibody syndrome, is because hindi naman sa bihira, pero it's not common, no, na magkaroon ng successive failed pregnancies. No? Yung nag-spontaneous abortion or namamatay yung bata, no, sa loob ng sinapupunan very early on. Minsan, first trimester, first 3 months, sometimes 4 months. No? Iba yung stillbirth, no, na can be carried until about 7-8 months. Then, tsaka mamamatay yung bata sa loob ng uterus ng babae. So, it's medyo mabigat na problema yung APAS. But it does happen. But fortunately, it's not very common that you develop that anti-phospholipid antibody test. Let me just okay, kung wala pang question iba, let me just give you a more detailed description of what APAS means. No? Sabi nga natin, anti-phospholipid antibody syndrome, where the immune system mistakenly, parang din siyang autoimmune, produces antibodies that attack the proteins on the surface of the cells and blood vessels. In this case, of course, the blood vessels supplying blood to the uterus. Okay? So yan yung that's the essence and the principle behind autoimmune diseases. No? Yung immune system is not able to what? Distinguish yung mga kalaban. So nangyayari, pinapatay niya o linalabanan niya yung sariling antibody ng katawan ng tao. And if that happens, no, there could possibly be potential complications like sinasabi nga dito, miscarriages, number 1. Stillbirths during pregnancy. So, napakahirap gawa ng paraan kasi it's within your body system. So, ang ginagawa ng iba is to inject a certain foreign body to counteract, no, the possible effect of the immune system attacking your own antibodies. So meron parang to counteract the effect, but it's quite difficult pagka-APAS talaga. No? Kasi may theory na nagsasabi na possibly be a contribution also of the sperm of the husband. No? So, nagkakaroon din ng possibility. Meron kasing, syempre may mga chemical compositions pa rin ang sperm ng lalaki, ang egg ng babae, no? If you go through the molecular level, pagka ganun na pinag-uusapan, ibang usapan na yan. No? And the only specialist that can take good care of patients suffering from APAS is what we call the fertility experts, no? Fertility specialist. So, OBGYN kasi, may mga iba't ibang klase na subspecialties. And one subspecialty is relatable to endocrinologic gynecology. So, may ano pa rin yan, malalim pa rin yung pinag-aaralan in order to identify and resolve subsequently cases of infertility problems. Hindi madali eh. Not all ordinary OBGYN can actively and positively treat infertility cases. Admittedly, hindi ako because I'm just an ordinary OBGYN. So I'm more on the obstetric side, no? Rather than like, when you say kasi obstetric, can you sa pregnancy, simple pregnancy, cesarean, and all these things. Unlike when you talk of subspecialties which would entail a deeper understanding of how to solve infertility problems. So malalim masyado. But APAS is, well, it's a condition na napakahirap, no? Napakahirap to resolve. So I hope, well, if your friend na merong APAS, I would probably suggest to go to an infertility specialist and possibly help her out with her problem. Hindi kasi madali yun. I have to be very honest about it. It's a very difficult situation. But it's not a hopeless case anyway. So sabi nga natin, there are women who become very hopeless, no? Simply because they cannot get pregnant. But the thing is, no, the right attitude, the principle behind it should be to identify the root cause of the infertility problem. So, kailangan himayin. That's the reason why in trying to make the himay, in trying to really come out identifying the root cause, sometimes it's very expensive. Ito yan. Nangyayari talaga yan. So yung iba, give up because marami ng expenses. And there's no guarantee, no, na she would still get pregnant. Especially kung medyo may edad na of one. Again, age is a very important factor.
Okay, I can share with her yung ating recent and ultimate step.
Oh yeah, of course. And then consult a
May mga
specialist.
questions na tayo, Doc.
Ano yan?
Rene,
Okay, go ahead.
meron po bang way para malaman kung benign or cancerous ang bukol without undergoing surgery?
Okay, sa transvaginal ultrasound, no, it can possibly identify. Meron lang mga sonologists yung gumagawa ng ultrasound na they don't want to commit right away. Unless it is very obvious na nakita nila na, oh, this is a fluid-filled abnormal mass, then rightfully so, they will say. Sometimes they would say to consider or rule out, no, an ovarian cyst. Ganon. So the moment you see the word cyst, chances are, no, it is benign, non-cancerous. But again, the best thing to do is a biopsy. Kasi ang biopsy will determine whether that abnormal mass is benign, non-malignant, or cancerous, malignant. So pwede, kasi kung maliit lang, no, inoobserbahan lang. Sabi ko nga kanina, if it is less than 5 centimeters in size, no, and it looks like may fluid, then pwedeng obserbahan lang. Because there's a chance that it will reduce in size. Now, if it becomes bigger, no, progressively, habang tumatakbo yung panahon, lumalaki, kahit na fluid lang siya, it's better to take it out. Debulking procedure yan. Hindi naman ibig sabihin, inoperahan, tinanggal, cancerous kagad. Kaya lang, sabi ko, lahat ngayon ng tinatanggal, lahat ng klase ng bukol, sa pinakamaliit hanggang sa pinakamalaki, automatically binabiopsy to determine whether it's benign. Kahit minsan 99% ka na sure na sa itsura pa lang non-cancerous na, the dictum will still be to document, ibig sabihin ay biopsy report na talagang benign. No? That's the rule. Now kasi pag benign, of course, medyo relax ka lang. Yung pasyente, you can tell the patient to relax for a while, nothing aggressive to be done. But if it's cancerous, even initial stage of cancer, then it has to be treated aggressively. Para na sa ganun, the purpose is to save the life of the patient. Yes, ma'am.
Doc, may another question po galing kay ang sabi niya, kung meron po siyang myoma and PCOS at my left ovary, then nakita po sa MRI, may pelvic ascites din po ako. Connected po ba yun sa PCOS ko?
Ascites? Ascites is generalized fluid that accumulates in the abdominal cavity. Kaya lumalaki yung tiyan ng pasyente. In most cases, hindi siya associated with ovarian cyst. Unless there is a possibility, kasi ang ascites is a complication brought about by some form of malignancy, no? In any of the internal organs. Pwedeng sa liver, no? Pwedeng sa stomach, pwedeng sa lungs, pwedeng sa ovaries din and all. Pero ano yun, complicated case na yun, pagka-ascites. It's a generalized fluid accumulation in the abdominal cavity. Kung kaya't lumalaki yung tiyan ng pasyente, akala mo buntis pero fluid lang yung laman. So it has to be, again, minsan, ginagawa pwedeng tutusukin para ilabas yung fluid lahat. No, at the same time, get a few ml and do a biopsy. No. Sabi ko nga, anything that should be taken out, whether it's a solid or a fluid abnormality, then it has to be biopsy para sigurado. Because the biopsy will tell us what would be the next best thing to do. But of course, needless to say, all patients everyone who is listening to me right now should have started taking all our products, diba? Presumably, para that's the protection. It's not only the prevention, but also a protection on our side, in order to prevent the possibility of getting into one. But of course, we're talking about ovarian tumors, so sa mga babae most especially. But of course, we're not discounting anybody, even us men, to protect us from possible prostate malignancy. So PSA dapat lagi niyo pinagagawa. Pa-thumbs up sila. Thank you. Sir Rene, Sir Chris. They're listening. Kasi importante yun no? Before it's too late, everything else should be done.
Yes.
Prospectively, para in advance. Para na sa ganun, we are not caught unaware because it might be too late. So again, early detection would definitely result to better outcome.
Tama po. So, dear partners, any more questions po habang nandito si Doc Byra? Wala na po tayong mga questions?
Hannah, we have a question from Sir Lem.
Ay, Sir Lem.
Yeah, nasa
My
Ayun.
good friend, Lem.
Doc, can PCOS be a predictor of ovarian cancer? My sister
No.
had PCOS years before she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
No. If and when a woman who have had the history of PCOS later in life experiences ovarian cancer, then incidental lang yun. No, PCOS will not lead to ovarian malignancy. Okay? When we talk of PCOS, the first thing that comes to mind is infertility. Because this PCOS nga, polycystic, so cyst, no? Ovary syndrome. So it's a cyst. It has nothing to do with ovarian malignancy. Kung sakali lang, if and when, incidental lang yan, nagkataon, but PCOS will never result to ovarian malignancy.
Ayan, thank you so much, Doc. So, na-enlighten po ba ang bawat isa? Sabi nga ni Doc Byra, ramdamin natin ang ating katawan, ramdamin natin kung may mga symptoms tayong nararamdaman sa katawan, and laging i-check para first thing na kailangan natin gawin is agapan and take precautionary method para po matugunan kung ano po yung problema ng ating kalusugan. So tonight, very, very informative and very helpful to us, Doc Byra. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hannah, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, Hannah. We have a last question from
Sure,
Master Ronald.
Sorry, Master Ronald. Is sexually active woman prone to cancer?
No. Para din yan, the most common question in men. Doc, pagka ba hindi masyadong nagagamit, will lead to prostate enlargement or prostate malignancy? No, that has nothing to do with it. So same thing with women. Even if you're not, the extremes, whether you're sexually active or not sexually active, has nothing to do with possible ovarian malignancy. So, it's more of a natural thing, no? Parang hindi mo alam bakit nangyayari yun. So, again, no, the only way to determine is to get to the root cause of the problem. And through these different diagnostic procedures, we'll be able to identify exactly, no, the cause of this problem. Pero para hindi mahuging huli, we need to start very, very early. Kaya nga, I usually suggest women in the reproductive age group, even if you're only 30 years old, no, you should also make sure that at least you get for those, especially for those who have gotten pregnant, no, or even if they're not pregnant but have undergone or are sexually active, then have a transvaginal ultrasound. At least it will give you the necessary information that will catch an early determination of whether you might be suffering from some abnormal gynecologic problems. Huwag lang tatamaran yung examine, undergoing diagnostic procedure. And, of course, huwag kalilimutan uminom ng ating mga produkto. Because that will spell the difference.
Ayan, may question po. Nag-raise ng hand si Chris. Yes, go ahead. Sir Chris?
Yes po, Doc. Hi, Ma'am Hannah.
Hi po.
Yung pong nagkaroon ng early detection ng, let's say, yung yung parang bukol po, ano ba tawag nila doon? Cyst?
Myoma or
sa ovarian po.
Ovarian cyst.
Opo. Ano kaya ang nun, Doc? Saan maglilid kaya yun?
Well, okay, kasi sabi nga natin kanina, there are different types of cyst, ovarian cyst, no? Meron dermoid cyst, meron nga teratoma, ayoko na lang i-expound kasi baka matakot diba? Yung teratoma, merong component na ngipin, may buhok, at may muscle tissue. Minsan. So, isipin natin, saan ang galing yun? Bakit nagkaroon ng ganun? There's no definitive answer to that. But kahit pa yun, functional cyst or benign ovarian cyst, it's better to have them checked by your OBGYN. So, para malaman kung ano. Because an OBGYN will be able to identify what would be, or to inform the patient, what would be the next best thing to do. Tatanggalin na ba? Again, size is a major consideration. The status of the cyst is also another consideration. So, depende sa makikita ko. That's the very reason why a transvaginal ultrasound is very informative. Because aside from the location, aside from the size, it will be able to identify some specific areas of concern pa na dapat bigyan ng pansin ng pasyente. And consequently, kung ano man yung makita, should be determined and advised by the corresponding OBGYN. So, malawak ko yung dapat pag-usapan sa ganun. It's not as simple as what is. But what is important is at least, yes, yun ang sasabihin ko, what is important is that we take our supplements to protect us, to prevent us. You pala, kasi, we're talking ovarian, sorry. Talking ovarian cyst. Yung mga women, to protect you, to prevent you from getting into any more serious ovarian conditions.
And Doc, syempre, di ba, regular pre-smear is very important.
No, yearly should be getting
Yan talaga yung
smear. Oo, no? At least importante yan to determine. Ang pap smear naman is intended to screen whether you have some problems in your cervix. And then, of course, ultrasound, no, to be able to identify whether all your reproductive organs, namely the uterus, the cervix, and the ovaries are all normal looking. Pag normal looking, nothing to worry about. Now, for those who have gone into menopause, of course, you expect everything to decrease in size. Liliit yung ovaries, liliit na rin yung uterus, no? Everything else. The ovaries, ovaries and the uterus will diminish in size, will reduce in size. What about by the lack of what? Siyempre, anatomical yun eh. Habang tumatanda, lumiliit na rin yun. So, mga bukol, especially pag medyo may edad na, should really be, an area of concern para malaman kagad what would be the next best thing. So, if you take our products, no, yung ating Ultima Stem Plus, Berberine, and all the rest of the products, at least it will provide you with the proper protection that you will need. Para hindi magkaroon.
Pahabol po, Doc. Sorry po. Samantalahin ko lang. Yung polyps, Doc. Polyps po. Ano po yung...
Polyps or cysts are almost the same.
Okay.
They are usually benign. They are usually non-cancerous. But just the same thing, no? Again, with regards to size and exact location, no? Hindi naman ibig sabihin pag tinanggal masama na. No? Kasi sometimes, kung hindi nagbabago, lalo pa kung lumalaki, even if it's obviously non-cancerous, mas mabuti na rin tanggalin. No? Para na nawawala na yung bukol. Kasi minsan, mga babae natatakot, Doc, may bukol ako. Ano bang klase ng bukol? Kasi kung bukol na non-cancerous naman, you don't need to worry. Pero ino-obserbahan pa rin. No? Kasi the moment na lumaki, it's better to take it out para sigurado. And then the moment it's taken out, it will be documented through a biopsy.
Yeah. Salamat po, Doctor.
Sure po.
Ayan, maraming salamat and hopefully nasagot po ang mga katanungan ng bawat isa. Again, Doc Vaira, thank you so much for giving a very nice topic about women's health and how to battle cyst and giving us the proper cellular nutrition that we need for ovarian. And at the same time, we can achieve health and healing in a proper way and natural way. Virtual to clap naman tayo and high five kay Doc Byra. So watch out guys for another um,